I just spent 3 goddamn hours of my life listening to this piece of shit, so you better listen to me bitch about it, goddammit. Welcome back to the Pink Floyd Completion Project. Today we are taking a look at Roger Waters' most recent and hopefully, based on what I've just listened to, final live album, This Is Not a Drill, live in Prague 2023. This live album documents his This Is Not a Drill tour, which was originally supposed to take place in 2020. COVID happened, so it didn't start until late 2021, if I remember correctly. That's all the more history we're getting into on this one, because we've got a lot of shit to dig through. And when I say shit, I mean shit. Alright? If I was the angry video game nerd, I guess if I was the angry album nerd, I would probably come up with some really stupid analogy using turds. But I'm not gonna do that, because I don't have the talent, or the energy, or the patience for that today. Starting off, number one, introduction. Immediately, it's, one of those concert introductions where it's just like, first of all, for the sake of your fellow patrons, don't be using your cell phone to record everything. Okay. That's fine. What's not great is when he goes, oh, if you're one of those people who likes the music of Pink Floyd, but goes, I can't stand Roger Waters' politics. It's best you better fuck off to the bar. Which is the wrong approach to take to that problem. Just saying. Like either don't perform or quit going on political rants for half the fucking concert, which fucking happens. It fucking happens a lot in this album, annoyingly. Song number 2, Comfortably Numb 2022. Fuck you! If you're gonna play Comfortably Numb, first of all, you don't start with Comfortably Numb. Comfortably Numb, that is the last or second to last song you play. You don't fucking start with that, and you certainly don't play the shitty version from the lockdown sessions that takes out the solo, takes everything out that makes the original song excellent, and then just whip out your dick and just take a big old piss over that song. Just take a great, big, awful, old man boomer piss on that on that song, and just come out with this terrible piece of shit. If I want to hear Comfortably Numb, I want to fucking jizz myself, not go, where's the cool? Fuck you! Song number 3, it's, The Happiest Days of Our Lives / Another Brick in the Wall Part 2. These will, the crowd goes nuts when they hear the intro. The band is finally kicking in after fucking 10 minutes, basically, of shit. I don't even know if Comfortably Numb 2022 was performed live, in all honesty, because it sounded pretty similar to the shitty studio version, which is burnt into my mind as an example of how not to adjust Comfortably Numb. But anyway, after about 10 minutes, the band finally kicks in. It's a competent performance. I don't think Roger was singing part of this live. I think part of this is either studio vocals done later or before, because the man's 82, and, we have record proof of him lip-syncing. So certainly by this point, he's definitely doing some lip-syncing. And Comfortably Numb 2022 is not the way to open a gig, sorry. It's just so shit. It's just terrible shit. It cuts the kid chorus, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that if you do cut a part of Another Brick in the Wall Part 2. That's the part you cut. It just goes into the guitar solo, which is performed, fine by, Dave Kilminster, I think. But he's, again, it's not Dave quality, and it's not going to be Dave quality, and it's a problem. This album has a problem. Big one. And I'll get to that later on. Brick 2, Brick Part 3, the transition between Brick in the Wall Part 2 and Brick in the Wall Part 3 is a little bit jarring. Apart from that, it's fine, but there's no inherent value to it. There is no real reason to listen to this version of Another Brick in the Wall Part 2 or Part 3 over the studio version, the version on the wall live, even the version live in Berlin. Like, it's the worst version, basically, of this song to listen to. Song number 5, Powers That Be. Surprisingly, this is a cut from Radio Chaos, a song that I totally forgot about, and I didn't recognize it when it came on. It has some energy. It's like I found myself kind of jamming out a little bit. Unfortunately, it's Roger Waters in 2022, so it's something tells me this isn't being performed for the reason it was written. You know what I mean? He has a habit of that. But yeah, it's a nice, that, like, if there is something to take away from this album, one about 5-minute thing to take away from this album, it is this version of the Powers That Be. It's nice and de-80sified, so yeah. But that is immediately shat all over by The Bravery of Being Out of Range, which, it starts with a Ronald Reagan speech clip for some reason. It's a low-energy acoustic rendition. It just doesn't hit. The solo sucks. It has the stupid extra lyrics from the Lockdown Sessions version. And there's a second Reagan speech clip that precedes the original final verse. Roger finally greets the crowd, Roger finally greets the audience and gives an intro to song number 7, The Bar Part 1, starring a group of diverse characters written by an 82-year-old white liberal boomer. And this song is full of 82-year-old white liberal boomer guilt. This is why people don't like you, Roger. This is why people don't like you. Alright? It's just, like, what's the point? There's no value to this song. It sucks. It's full of white, liberal, boomer, old guilt. It's just terrible. And if you agree with his politics, okay, that's fine. Personally, I don't, and I'd prefer him shut his goddamn mouth about him. And when he does, right, he had this big fuck-off plus screen that hung in the middle of the arena or stadium, wherever he would be performing, which had visuals on it. If you're gonna inject political shit into your show, that's the way to do it. Alright, now at least this song isn't tarnishing, at least it's not a shitty version of an original, Floyd song, or, something from Amused to Death, which is a fucking great album. So at least it's not a bastardization. Song number 8, Have a Cigar. It barely sounds like Have a Cigar initially, but that's because it's being played in a lower key, because Roger Waters is like 82 years old and can't sing the way he used to. It sounds more like Bon Jovi in 2007 than Pink Floyd 1975. I'll be honest. If you've heard their Bon Jovi's album Lost Highway, you'll kind of get what I'm talking about. I don't know what audience I'm aiming for with that reference. It's just, I don't know. Song number 9, Wish You Were Here. It's Wish You Were Here, sung in a lower key, but apart from that, it's performed the same. It's Wish You Were Here. As long as you don't add a bunch of stupid shit to it, it's fine. Song number 10, Shine On You Crazy Diamond. It's part 6 to 9. The performance, it's fine. There's just no reason to listen to this version over any other version. The vocals, are actually live. I doubt Roger's vocals are actually live. I have no doubt that this is what the audience heard the night this was recorded. I just don't think Roger sang a lot of this himself on the night. So, yeah. Again, it's fine, but there's no reason to listen to it over any other version of the song, even by Roger himself. Song number 11, Sheep. Roger does a very stupid sheep impression for what feels like entirely too long. The vocals most certainly are not live. It sounds like everything else on the album. It's the only song on the live album from Animals. Again, no reason to listen to this over any other version of Sheep. Song number 12, In the Flesh. It sounds like the version from his Wall tour. Again, there's no inherent value here. There is no value to a lot of this shit. Run Like Hell. The intro sounds disco for some reason, and some people might comment, dude, that's kind of the point of it. That's, like, Run Like Hell was, inspired by disco. Yeah, but Run Like Hell itself, the original album, David Gilmour, Roger Waters, apart from this one, never really sounded disco. This one, the start of this one, sounds disco, and it's dumb. And he adds, and then he adds a bunch of January 6th related shit for no fucking reason. And then it ends with an awful version of Stop, and then he bitches about some random-ass article that was talking about, talking about two of the names that appear on the screen during the Powers That Be. Okay, not relevant, Roger! Shut up! Shut up, shut up, shut up! Shut up and play the song! This is the problem. This is the problem with Roger Waters' shows, okay? He can't just play the song and then add different meaning to it with the visuals on the screen. He has to go on these stupid, long, multi-minute rants in the middle of the show. Shut up! Nobody cares! Nobody cares! They're here to see you perform! They don't want to hear you bitch about politics! If you're gonna bitch about politics, do it in your song! You did it with the bar! Why can't you just... It's dumb! It's so stupid! It's stupid! Deja Vu sucks just as much as the album version and the Us Plus Them version. And then song number 15, Is This the Life We Really Want? Same thing. Those are the two cuts from Is This the Life We Really Want? An album which, frankly, itself has no value unless you hate yourself. Song number 16, Money. This is where we get to the second half of Dark Side of the Moon. Thank God not performed like The Redux, which I was worried about going into this, but thankfully it's performed normally. You've got Jonathan Wilson on lead vocals, as opposed to Roger. Apart from that, this is just a less good version of Money. Us and Them is the same thing. Any Color You Like, it's the same thing. Roger sings Brain Damage and Eclipse, see above. Eclipse takes entirely too long to end. And it itself ends on a stupid fucking long rant giving an intro to Two Suns in the Sunset, which, much like its album counterpart, is a little bit too long. He starts with a rant about anti-nuke shit, and then he gives a tribute to the Bar Part 2, and then the Bar Part 2 is more of the Bar Part 1, except it's got an obligatory reference to the fact that Roger's dad is dead. We get it, buddy, you grew up without a father. So did I, you don't hear me bitching about it. Oh my God. And then song number 23, Outside the Wall. All I wrote is, thank God it's finally over. Do not subject yourself to this album. I started this album at 9 o'clock in the morning. I am recording this right after I listened to this album. It's noon! It took me 3 hours to listen to this album. I had to get up at multiple points just to walk away from it. For only 2 minutes, 3 minutes at a time. But it's awful. It's an awful album with no inherent value. No inherent value. Nothing here is worth listening to that wasn't done better on different releases even remove, like, Pink Floyd itself, these songs have been performed better by Roger himself in the past. It's an awful album. It's an overly long album. Do not subject yourself to this. If you have listened to this, you have wasted 3 hours of your life. If you have bought this, you have wasted money. Oh my God. I'll get to the personnel because you know what? They deserve credit for putting up with Roger's shit. On guitar, you have Dave Kilminster and Jonathan Wilson. On bass, you've got Gus Seifert. On keys, you've got John Caron, who has kind of become Roger Waters' guy Pratt. And then you've got Robert Walter as well. On drums, you've got Joey Waronker. On backing vocals, you've got Sinead Johnson and Amanda Belair. And on sax, you have Seamus Blake. Roger Waters, please stop talking about politics. You're not an expert. You live in the richest area of New York City. He needs to shut up. The dude needs to shut the fuck up. And if he is going to add meanings that weren't originally in his songs, he needs to do it through the projections, not by adding lyrics or making them shitty and acoustic 30 years, 40 years after he made them. Thank you all very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it. If you have something to add, if you disagree with me on this, please feel free to, tell me in the comments down below. If you want to hear me talk about something other than music, I have a podcast with two of my buddies. It's called Dorkies. I will leave a link to the latest episode of that in the description down below. And if you want to hear what I happen to be listening to that day, you can follow me on Instagram. I will leave a link to that in the description down below. And, with that, I would like to remind you all to stay weird and keep jamming. See you all next week for a much better album. A review of a much better album. David Gilmour's The Luck and Strange Concerts. I will see you then. But until then, stay weird, keep jamming, take care.